Stream is up and running. Zoom is up and running. Screen is on the board and being shared. I think. We're ready to go. So, good morning, everybody. No, it's not morning. We ate lunch. It's afternoon. Oh my gosh, time just keeps on slipping in the future. Good afternoon. How you doing? Decent. Decent? All right. All right. I'll accept that. Today is a yellow day, so we're expecting quite a few people. So let's see. We have Christian. Online. Got Gina online. Jose. Not here. Jocelyn. Online. And Marichelle. Online. Andre. That's you. Andre's here. Angel is online. Leo is there. And Litzy is here. Right, that's all of them. These are done with that page. So, connected there. It's here. Okay. All right, those of you at home on Zoom, please turn on your camera so I can see your face. While you're doing that, the U.S. Marine slogan here, improvise, adapt, and overcome, I think is probably the best description of what we're doing this year yet. Changing, adapting, adjusting our plans as we go to overcome all of these obstacles, right? The distance and the technological hurdles. I've got a whole new machine set up here that now runs smoothly. I don't have to wait forever after clicking every single button. Using Zoom, which I'm told works better. So that should be an improvement there. The only catch so far is that because Zoom is using the camera, now OBS can't use the camera. So for the live students that need to be here, they can see me, but then the YouTube video won't have my beautiful face on it afterwards. It's unfortunate, but I'm working on a way around that. Okay? All right, there we go. Good to see you. Good to see you. So that's what we're working on all year. Improvising, adapt, and overcome. And specifically, over the weekend, you read about the mathematical practices. Okay, this comes from the Common Core standards, and these are like the foundational skills of all mathematics. Okay, it's not specific to any particular topic. It's things you will need to use throughout the year, throughout the years, year after year. You will, even sometimes without knowing it, make use of these in your course of trying to solve problems and navigate the world, as it were. So we have understanding, persevering. This is probably Odiada's favorite, right? This is great right here. Persevering till the end. Finishing that problem no matter what. Logic and reasoning. We're going to talk a lot about that in this class. Justify and critique. Model of mathematics. Strategically use tools. Attend to precision. Utilize structure. And utilize patterns. Those are very similar. We'll definitely be doing pattern recognition in this class as well. But all of those will come up at various points throughout the year, and at various points within a single problem. Okay? You also, over this weekend, completed a math problem, and this was a real problem. It wasn't an exercise. Right? It was something that required thought. Required you to analyze something and try stuff out, maybe. And I hope it was a little bit difficult, honestly. I really do. because that makes it all the more juicy for analysis here. What I want us to do is look back at that problem, how it went, what you had to think through, what you wrote down, and we're going to identify where these practices come into play within that problem. All right? So let me go ahead and pull it up here from Google Classroom. Come on, 7th period. I'll use the 7th period one. And we got, where it is. Friday's one. That was a while ago. Here we go. Okay, so the security camera problem, right? You went about answering this question. If you got through the first question, you move on to the second question. You finish the third question, right? Even though it was tougher and tougher along the way, that's perseverance, right? So the very fact that you finished the problem demonstrates that perseverance, right? So that is an example of that mathematical practice in action. Here's another example. If I go back, let me find today's post here. So today on the classwork post, I don't just have the original problem, I have some example work. So this is an imaginary student that attempted this problem, and we can look at his work. Right? So now you have not just your own experience, but you have multiple samples to look at, and you can compare those. And notice here, Simon's got, here's his answer for question 1. Here's a number 2. Here's a 3. A, and you identified on the diagram. Part B. There's a big hole right here. Right? As a teacher, that certainly stands out to me, someone who has to grade it. But the fact that he didn't answer question 2 tells me Simon did not persevere. Right? He didn't finish the problem. Right? There was a gap there. And so when you compare if you did all 3, and you compare it to Simon, you're like, I see a difference here. He didn't go all the way. So you demonstrated the perseverance. That's one way to identify that mathematical practice. Okay? Here's another example. Several people encountered technical difficulties over the weekend. Right? Wi-Fi was giving you trouble, couldn't download the document, or worse yet, because you were struggling with the PDF format and trying to import it into Google Docs, and it just was giving you fits. But if you did it anyways, that's perseverance. Right? That's like almost like on a meta level, right? It wasn't just the question as it were, it was like opening the test as part of the test, right? Figuring out how to get started in a technological standpoint. That was another challenge that this year has imposed on us. Well, we can look at that as a math problem. We can use the mathematical practices and say, hey, let's stop and think about this logically. How can I work through this problem and persevere through the end anyways? Right? So that's applying those practices to a real-world example. So then take a look at the Google Doc for today about the mathematical practices. You've got a table. And on this table, I've already filled in all of the 8 mathematical practices there. You have 2 columns to fill out today. In the center column, you're going to summarize each mathematical practice based on the reading that you did over the weekend, and your understanding on it. You need to look them up again, that's fine. Those of you here in class, you can see I've got the posters there if you want to read the description of that again. Right? But summarize it in your own words. What does it mean to make sense of problems and persevere in solving them? What does that mean to you? How do you understand that? And then secondly, how does that come to play in this problem? Right? This problem being the security camera coverage problem. So you're right there at the top. Security camera coverage problem. How does it come into play? Well, the perseverance is in answering all three parts, even though they get harder as you go. Or the perseverance is figuring out a way to draw in your answer, even though you're opening a PDF on a Chromebook and you don't have a printer at home. Right? That would be perseverance. So it can be an example of something you did. It can be an example of something one of the other examples did, the Simon sample response. There's actually 3 different student responses there, varying degrees of quality. You can compare those. Maybe it's something just represented in the problem itself. It doesn't necessarily relate to your answer. Some of these you can identify based on the question as written. Anyway, like, oh, that sounds like modeling. Right there. Which part? What is it modeling? I'm not going to try to, I don't want to give too much away, because I want you to try to think of these things first. Identify where you'll see those. And then towards the end of class, we'll have a quizzes on these. They will also provide examples of, here's a piece of a math problem, which mathematical practice is represented here. And then you can also refer back to that. If later today you don't finish these, you still need some examples, you can go back and review your quizzes and use that as another resource. All right. Questions on this task? My little chat window here, nothing in the chat. Okay. No questions? Then go ahead and get started. Take out your Chromebook or switch over to Google Classroom, open up the classwork document for today. And we will go to about 1:30. So you got 20 minutes to work, and then we'll go to the quizzes. Say again? That's the name of the problem we're looking at, so, security camera.
Oh, okay.
go ahead and pause where you are and go back to the Google Classroom stream. You'll find a quizzes invite link at the top. Be able to click on that and join right into the game. And again, the questions here, there's 8 mathematical practices. We have 8 questions. Each one will present you a snippet of a math problem and ask you which mathematical practice best is identified there in that part of a problem. So afterwards, you can use this as a reference to finish off your table. If you're not sure, hey, I'm still a little confused on that last one there, well, find the quizzes where that practice was the correct answer and see if you can't match that problem's properties and identify a similar situation in the security camera problem. We got 7 here. We'll go ahead and get started. You can still join in later, that's okay. Concepts and new ways of thinking about things. today, so 2:30 today, there'll be a new post on Google Classroom you can use to retake the quiz. Please be sure you do use that new link to retake it. If you just go back to your quiz's profile and practice the quiz, it doesn't report the score. Okay, so make sure you use the new link so I actually get you a new score. Classwork for today. Finish filling in that table if you haven't already. The quizzes retake will be open through Friday, so you have all week to work on that. In addition to the classwork now, there will be a weekly homework set. Okay? This week is rather short because you guys work on Thursday and Friday this week. So the weekly homework there's only one item, but do realize that in the future there might be like multiple entries on that. It's all there on the Google Classroom. I've called it the week's homework. So this will be the homework that you have in the week to work on. This is a short week, so this is due Wednesday morning, and otherwise it would have been a Friday. So all the instructions, all the materials you need are right there. And that's intended as something you work on outside of this class time on your own. Okay? So you'll have to manage your time. If you want to work on this tonight, you work on it tomorrow night, how do you spread that out? And then we'll be able to